Welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, retired librarian turned homeschool mom, and in this video we're going to look at an interesting little family film called We Bought a Zoo. Now this is very, very loosely inspired by actual events. So very loosely inspired for one thing. This film takes place in the US. The actual events happened in England, and it wasn't a single father with mourning his wife with 2 kids. But you can check it out. There's literally, it takes its title and some of the, at least the main character's name from actual events. So you can check out the book, We Bought a Zoo. Now, let's look at this film. So it stars Matt Damon in one of the few roles he's not, shooting people like he does quite frequently, except for, of course, when he's in Good Will Hunting. But it also stars Scarlett Johansson, Thomas Haden Church, Elle Fanning, and then the 2 children, the main major characters here, are played by Colin Ford and Maggie Elizabeth Jones. So in this film, Matt Damon plays a character by the name of Benjamin Mee. Yes, this is a real person. He's British. Read the book. I may do the book at some point. It's more nonfiction. But he is a widower. His wife, Elizabeth, I believe is her name. Catherine Mee. You get flashbacks of her. She died suddenly, leaving him a reporter, basically widowed with his 2 children, Dylan and Rosie. Those are not based on actual people. Benjamin Mee did have 2 children, but those were not their names. And so, in trying to revive his family, typical of these types of movies, his son Dylan he lost his mother, he's angry at the world, he's getting in trouble in school, he is drawing things that are slightly grotesque. He's a very, very good artist, but he's freaking out the school because he's drawing decapitated things and apparently freaking people out because he's a teenager and he's not really doing his homework. So Benjamin Mee decides to buy a zoo. Yeah, again, it's a little strange, but these are typical heartwarming films. It's closed down, they have to do stuff in order to get it to open again, and it's a whole family healing story. Dylan falls in love with Elle Fanning's character, whose name is Lily Miska, and he has to learn to actually say something. She works on the at the zoo. Scarlett Johansson's character is basically the person who's been looking after the animals and almost running the zoo. And they were shut down for various reasons. Just they weren't taking care of the animals properly. So, and that's true to the original story. The zoo was closed down because the original owner was illegally breeding tigers. And the animals were not being kept in great conditions. So, through this course of this movie, he works to fix up the zoo so they can open it. And his Thomas Haden Church plays Duncan Mee, which is Benjamin's father. So you have the father giving sage advice, working there, working with the animals. You have Matt Damon's character learning to deal with tigers, and they actually end up having to put one down. You do not actually see them, but you see this tiger just kind of getting sick, and it's old. And then you see that they have a memory of this tiger on the gates. And you have other tigers. And you have other wild animals, like wild boars and various other things. And they have to learn to take care of these animals. And they have to fix up these enclosures so they're safe and secure. So they meet essential code. So, and that's the whole course of the movie. You have him bonding with his son. You have him bonding with his daughter, kind of rediscovering the family. You have him bonding with Scarlett Johansson's character because there has to be a love story in these things. That's just part of the formula. So, and she learns to trust him, and you have, I think, what do we have? A couple, obviously, various other odd characters. You have Angus McFadden, who plays Peter McHattie, who's one of the zoo hands who's frequently drunk, and a few other different people here. And essentially the odd cast of characters you find in films like this when men or women randomly buy things like farms, or in this case a zoo, in order to fix their lives or fix their families. So it's a fun film. There's nothing wrong with it. It is a formulaic film, based again loosely on actual events. This story takes place in the United States. The original events took place again in the UK. Please ignore the meowing cat. She was on my lap a second ago. But again, it's a great family film about a zoo, about family, about togetherness. One of the things the father does in this case, he's going through some of his son's artwork. His son had drawn a tiger, and that would fit obviously perfectly as an emblem for the zoo, so they end up using that. And he shows it to his son. His son recognizes his artwork. It's like, where were you planning to put this? He's like, you know, here, there, everywhere. So bonding with the son. So it's a good, fun, family, heartwarming film. It's nice to see Matt Damon doing something heartwarming and not, you know, like Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, and the Bourne movies, because he is a very, very good actor. So it's good to see him being goofy, and yes, he has chemistry with Scarlett Johansson, who's a fantastic actress. It's good to see her in something as an adult where she's not superhero movies, which no, I don't watch. I don't really watch a lot of superhero movies, so I just hear things. The only other film, the film I've seen her in that I recognize, it's not something I don't know if I would ever play here, because it's not family friendly. That's The Horse Whisperer. But again, they have chemistry. It's fun. It's a good family together film. It's entertaining enough. I don't know if it depends on the teenager, whether or not they would enjoy this. It does show how hard it is to have a small zoo like this, and all the requirements for the different animals and what you have to feed the different animals. And it's a kind of a good family film to introduce zoos and hard work, and it's heartwarming, and it's family, and it's fun. So it's one of those types of family films that, yeah, it would work good for a family night. If you're homeschoolers, it's fun. Again, it looks at zoo stuff. You're looking at animals. It does, with the tiger, show that sometimes the animals do have to be put down. The tiger was very sick and very old. So it wasn't like they were putting down a young animal. It was just like pets, you have to occasionally put them down. And Matt Damon, as the owner, has to make that decision. No, you don't see it. You do see him kind of make the decision and kind of realize it. And then you just kind of see they had memory of this specific tiger on the gates. So you don't actually see that. But it shows that type of hard decisions that you have to make working in a zoo. So if your child is interested in becoming a zookeeper or working at a zoo, it's kind of a good introduction. I will hopefully maybe check out the book. Again, that's more of a biography thing. I may cover it at some point. We'll see. I did not realize this was based on real events. So it's an interesting thing to look at. And if you want to look into, it's a good gateway into looking at this actual story. Or how, I do not believe this is Disney. I'll double check the IMDb page. Who made this? It doesn't necessarily look like, no, this is not Disney, surprisingly. But again, it's if you're looking at how films can loosely take an idea and run with it, that's a good thing, because they loosely take ideas off real life events. Again, this is very, very loose. In the real life one, this took place in England. Benjamin Mee's wife died like of brain aneurysm, I think 6 months or something later, after they bought the zoo. It wasn't bought solely by him. I think his mother was involved, along with various other family members. He was just put in charge for some reason. So yeah, it's very, very loosely based. Fantastic film. Not much else to say. It's decently long. It's a good family film. It's one of those, it's formulaic though. I'm going to say that. It's very, very formulaic. Adults who are used to these type of family films, you know the formula. Like, father's not connecting with his son, the young daughter is kind of out of it. He does a random thing, in this case by a zoo, in order to reconnect his family. So, not that it's bad, again, good film, just formulaic. So, that's it for this book review, or the film review, sorry. I film these at night when my child goes to sleep. I'm oddly enough filming this on Thanksgiving, so notably slightly tired. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. You can also make a comment below if you want to let the channel grow a little bit. So check out the rest of my channel. I do films like this. I do other films. I do lots and lots of book reviews, from picture books to fantasy novels and stuff like that. I do some travel stuff. We have a young daughter, so we are secular homeschoolers. So that's the other thing I will cover as my daughter gets older. Will be more homeschooling stuff, whether it's curriculums or games or stuff that we do with her. But as of this video, she is not quite 3. So we're not there yet. But that's to come. So be sure to like and subscribe. And again, check out the rest of the channel. Thank you.